too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
And what a lot of people don't tell you is that a lot of your life comes down to the majority of your outcomes in life don't come down to racism. They don't come down to who gets elected president. They come down to what choices you make, who you choose to be. So what I'm going to do, guys, I know I asked you guys to solicit questions in advance on my Instagram page. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. So I'm going to start with the questions that were left on the page. Also on this page, you should see a URL for blackkeystogreatness.com. That's my life class. The life class does have a lifetime cost of $1,000 if you want to join for life, but you don't have to pay anything because you're young and you're coming to the special session. You can actually join for free. So go to blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. The URL should be pinned somewhere around there, and you can actually join for free. You got free access. This is just my gift to young people. All right, so if you have questions that you're popping into the chat, hold those for 1 minute, save them, and bring them back, because I'm going to get some of these questions first over here, then I'll pop over there. All right, so the first question is, who is that? So you're asking about the obvious change in my speech. It's because I'm going through a 6-week dental procedure, and for the first 6 weeks, they have to open up my bite and do some other stuff before they work on some implants. And effectively, I want to have healthier teeth, and that's what the price I got to pay. Is for 6 weeks, I'm gonna sound a little bit weird, but I hope that's okay. Next, how do we build as a unit when most of our people worship our oppressors? Like Chuck D used to say, Dre, if you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. Not everybody's built for the revolution. Not everybody has the same level of courage. Not everybody has the same level of discipline. Not everybody has the same values. Some people just have different values from you, and that's okay. But I've just learned that instead of constantly feeling like you got to go back and save everybody, if it's okay, I can save you. But if you want me to save you, you got to let me drive the car. If you want me to save you, you got to listen to me. You got to let me guide the discussion. Don't come in here with no ignorant shit and expecting me to cater to ignorant shit as if ignorance is the same as intelligence. So I don't mind if you're in a bad place if you want my help. But if you want my help, then you let me be the doctor. You be the patient. But if you're trying to be the doctor, like imagine if you went to the doctor and you up here trying to tell the doctor how to give you surgery. Well, the doctor is going to say, look, if either we do it my way or you got to leave. So you work with people that want to be saved, and those who don't want to be saved, that's okay. Teach them by example. Do you think Trump really has COVID-19? I've heard conspiracy theories that maybe this was the October surprise. I did see a tweet. It looked like somebody might have put this tweet out. I assume it's real. Put it out over a month ago, saying that Trump was going to announce that he had COVID in order to take the attention away from Biden. I don't know. These people are crazy. They're pretty sinister. Anything is possible. So I can only believe what they say. But then again, can you really believe what they say, right? Let's see here. What are your thoughts on economist Thomas Sowell and his views on the economic situation of African Americans in this country? I like some of what Thomas Sowell says, but sometimes Thomas Sowell, to me, sounds a little bit racist. He sounds a little bit like a guy who has no empathy whatsoever for what black people have gone through, or more importantly, what black people are owed. Black people are owed quite a bit, and that you may never get that, right? They may never give you your reparations, but that doesn't mean you should just forget about it. That doesn't mean you should just act like it doesn't exist. I mean, I'm going to hold that shit over your head forever, because if you really want to be my friend and you took something away from me, I'm not going to be your friend and make you think that you never took anything away from me. So I think that guys like Thomas Sowell have to expand their view a little bit. I mean, you can push for black accountability all day long. I love black accountability. But at the same time, accountability must be applied all the way across the board. Sometimes guys like Thomas Sowell, they're very light on white people, but very heavy on black people. I'm not a fan of that. To me, if you're going to be hard on people, be hard on everybody. Everybody's got accountability. Let's see here. Why don't we talk more about national classifications, the first step of reparations, says Rockstar Visual. Because I mean, I guess we could be classified as a protected class or something like that. If that's something you want. I've heard people say that we're not black, we're not African American. You know, I mean, if you have a point, you want to make the point, make the point. But honestly, that's not something that's above my pay grade. I don't understand enough to be able to really speak on that intelligently. $1 Million Mail says, Dr. Boyce, I recently purchased a Black Business course last night. I started watching it today. Thank you so much for your knowledge. What type of investment? Okay, I see a lot of financial questions, $1 Million Mail. Uncle Boyce answers non-financial questions, but I'll answer one financial question. What are your thoughts on purchasing real estate in the pandemic? I think real estate's almost always a good move. You're almost always better off when you buy real estate. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Get a mentor or something, somebody to guide you through the process if you haven't done it before. As a 26-year-old black American man, how should I deal with older folks telling me to vote but not getting anything for my vote? Well, you know, there's a lot of people who don't vote for nothing. You know, I think anybody who tells you to vote for nothing, I think you got to question that a little bit, because that to me just says that they're just saying it's like a ritual. Then it's just like, just do it because you're supposed to do it. I have a problem with that because, you know, slavery ended in 1865. I'm not a big fan of telling black people they have to do anything, especially if they don't want to do it or it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean I'm telling you not to vote either, because then I'd be telling you what to do again. So my position is, you're not supposed to vote for nothing. That's not natural. It only makes sense to us because we've been doing it for so long and getting no results. So, you know, when somebody says, you've got all these problems as a black person, I've got this politician from a party that's done damn near nothing for you. Your solution to the problem is to vote for the same politician from the same party that's done nothing for you. Then your goal really isn't to solve the problem, because we've proven over the last 40 years that this approach does not solve the problem. It's not as if black people haven't always been voting. Black people vote in every election and nothing happens, because voting is a lot like praying. You got some black folks that tell you the way to solve black problems is to just pray. You go to church and pray, and the white man will be nicer to you. Things get better. The sun will come out tomorrow. And we know, I mean, prayer without works is dead. Praying is okay, but you got to do something. You got to get off your ass and do something. So when they tell me to vote and ask for nothing, and that somehow I'm a villain for asking for something, that tells me that you're mentally disturbed. Something's wrong with you mentally if you think it makes sense to vote without expecting something from a politician. How do you, Yonma says, how do you see financial freedom for women, especially within the household or in a relationship? Financial freedom is basically a situation where you can make decisions that are free from financial constraints. So if you have financial freedom, to me, that doesn't always mean you're rich. One misinterpretation is a lot of people think financial freedom means that you're rich. No, it doesn't. You don't have to be rich to be financially free. And there are a lot of rich people who are not financially free. Like if you have an athlete who spends $1 million a month, he's not financially free. He's a slave. He's going to have to play football in the NFL until he's 45 years old just to pay his bills. So he's not financially free. He's a financial slave because he's got a big financial addiction that he's got to maintain by making more money. Financially free is just somebody who can walk away from a situation and know that they're going to be okay. Like you can leave a bad relationship and not be forced to stay just because he makes all the money and you don't know how to make money, or just because he has savings and you don't have savings. Financially free means that if my boss pisses me off, I can tell my boss to kiss my ass and I'm going to be okay. I don't need that job to survive economically. Most black people in America are not financially free. That's why most black people in America are under tremendous racial stress. Most black people in America that are under racial stress are under stress that comes from the white guy that they work for. That's the number one source of racial stress in America, because more people spend more time at work than you spend with your own kids. So if you can just get away from those crazy ass white people at work, then your blood pressure probably go down, your mental health goes up, your life gets better, you start feeling better about everything. So the best gift you can give to your children is to position them to be financially free. That means you start an investment portfolio for them when they're very little. I got a $5 a day plan that I've always been pushing for a really long time. That's totally free. Go to firstshareofstock.com. Firstshareofstock.com. On that page, you'll get on our list. I'll send you information about the $5 a day plan, a bunch of other stuff. And basically, by investing $5 a day for your child, Your child can be in a position where they're financially free by the time they're 25, as long as they stay out of debt. And then also what you do is you teach them how to buy real estate, how to buy stocks and bonds, and how to start a business. Those are three key elements. All this other stuff they learn in school, they learn so much crap in school that doesn't help them with anything in their life. Stuff that they'll never use again. That is a waste of time. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible system. That is a system that keeps you enslaved. So for you to be free, you got to really look at this thing. You got to really look at what they're doing to you and look at every little thing, everything that you see, everything you hear, everything that you're learning, everything you believe. You got to question it all and build something that's custom made for you. Let's see. So I'm going to go back to the screen. I'll take some live questions here. Let me see here. That post by T. Khalik. I don't remember that post. I do remember. I know T. I don't know him, but I've seen him online. Sometimes I agree with him. Sometimes I don't. But I like the guy. I do. I don't remember the post. So I remember it was a little bit controversial. I think it was about Breonna Taylor's boyfriend and how he put her in a bad situation. And I'm not going to really speak to that because that's too close to me. I'm from Louisville. I've had friends killed a few blocks from where Breonna Taylor lives. I grew up in that area. My father was on the police force in Louisville. So I know the streets. I know the racism. I know it very well, but I also know good cops. I know cops. I have a cop friend I went to kindergarten with. He gave me the real deal on the situation. I have concluded that the public did not get full information on Breonna Taylor, and they want the narrative to be real simple in a box. So if I told you half of what I have learned from trusted sources about that case, half y'all will get really mad at me, which is why I'm not even going to talk about it, because I do believe racism is an issue. I believe police reform is necessary, but I don't believe that the case is as cut and dry as people make it out to be. People from outside of Louisville are judging what happened in Louisville, and as a guy who's from Louisville, I can just say y'all got it all fucked up. I'm just gonna keep it 100. A lot of y'all, no matter which side you're on, if you're on the whole like cops are good side, you got it all fucked up. If you're on the whole, oh, she was just laying in her bed and it could have happened to anybody, tip, no, I'll just tell you this: what happened in that situation couldn't have happened to just anybody. There was some stuff going on in that dynamic that is too complex for the public mind. The public and media has gotten really simple-minded. They only like one-syllable, one-dimensional stories. They can't handle a 3, 4, 5-dimensional story. They can only handle a one-dimensional story, a good or evil story. And I can't do that. I can't make myself dumb enough to do that. So rather than trying to go in here and fight with a bunch of people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, I just keep my lips zipped on that. And I just say it was unfortunate. I hate the fact that she died. Police reform is necessary. I do believe that the ultimate solution with criminal justice is you need something bigger. Stop these one-offs. I get tired of celebrating the latest police shooting, because that's what you're doing. When you're out here talking about it, you're really celebrating it, and you're not getting anything done. You're just getting a feel-good moment. It's a feel-good moment. It's like, oh, we're going to get justice for Joe Wilson. Like, who the fuck said that getting justice for one guy is the same as really correcting a system that's affecting millions of people? That's a ceremony. That's like voting for a politician who does nothing for you, or praying over your problems instead of fixing them. That's something that makes you feel good internally, but I'm results oriented. If it doesn't get results, then in my mind, it's a complete waste of time. So that's what I honestly believe. That's my 2 cents. I'm gonna stop talking about it because I don't want anybody to. People get offended so easy, so fucking I'm gonna talk about other shit. What are 2 great books to read for personal growth on building generational wealth? I really like Powernomics. Let me see here. I think Rich Dad Poor Dad's good. The Automatic Millionaire is pretty good too. Let me see here. Doctor's going through a 6-week dental process. Yeah, I am. It's 6 weeks, and so that's why I'm gonna talk funny until Thanksgiving or something. What do you think about Lynette Zhang? I do not know who she is. I've been looking in the sky, hoping for centuries. Exactly. The stock's been good to my boy. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, y'all know what you're missing. If you're not an investor, I kind of feel bad for you. I mean, if you want to talk about stuff that is going to make you successful, I'm a believer that when you find the things that can help you win, you go hard at the things that help you win, and you minimize the things that aren't helping you win. Right? Like T.I.'s song, big shit popping and little shit stopping. Find your big shit. Find your things that are going to help you win. Put your energy into that. and then walk away from the stuff that's not helping you win, that's draining your energy, like arguing with dumbass relatives, like just really know, like that ignorant ass cousin, you really can just get up and walk away, and you can say, yeah, you're right, and go. But if you sit there arguing with that dumbass cousin for 4 hours, that's 4 hours you could have spent reading a book. So stock investing is one of those things where I would put more money into stocks than you put into anything else. Like seriously, like if I'm gonna spend $100 going to the club, I'm gonna put $300 in stocks, because that's what's gonna make you put you in a better financial position, in my opinion. Who was more under psychological spell, so-called Negro fighting oppression, or people like Herschel Walker? I think I can't align with any of that, just because, the whole, if you use left wing, right wing, Democrat, Republican, I'm not into an allegiance to a bigger political party. I think that distracts you from what you're supposed to do, which is to have allegiance to the black community. So in every election, I'm not voting Democrat, I'm not voting Republican, I'm voting for black people. And voting for black people means working with black people to find solutions for black people. I believe that $1 worth of a solution directly targeted to the source, targeted directly to black people, is worth $1 million worth of solution that comes from the Democrat or Republican Party. Because they might put $1 million toward an issue, but most of that $1 million is going to miss you. But if I put $10 toward directly into the heart of black people, that's like putting the drug right into the bloodstream. You're pumping it right into the muscle. That to me is more effective. That's why I believe a guy like myself, who's got my little platform where I got a few 100,000 black people that listen to me talk every day, I believe I can do 100 times more than some politician who got a fancy job somewhere. And that's why I believe we lose trillions of dollars in economic and intellectual power, because we've trained, so many of our black people are trained to chase these jobs working for white people, because you feel like you need these jobs in order to feel like you are somebody. And so you end up respecting the wrong people and disrespecting the other people. So you respect the guy who gets elected to office where he can't do shit for you, but you proud because this Negro is sitting in the White House, right? But you proud, so you put more love into this guy than you put into the guy who goes to the hood every day and educates, 3 dozen black boys every single day. Like, if you look at who's having the greatest impact, the guy who's dedicating his life to your community versus the guy who is just sitting up here as a symbol and ain't doing nothing, you need to flip that, right? Like, so that's why, like in school, and a lot of the brainwashing starts in school. Why is it that our children can tell you all about European history, but most of our children don't go to school and learn about Marcus Garvey? They can't tell you anything about Marcus Garvey. So why would you celebrate Barack Obama but not celebrate Marcus Garvey? Who did more for black people, Barack Obama or Marcus Garvey? Who was more dedicated to black people, Barack Obama or Marcus Garvey? Maybe it shouldn't have to be a competition, but I don't even remember Barack Obama really talking about black people. He addressed black people. Maybe he come and sing for us or dance for us or whatever it was, but I didn't see him really going out here saying, I'm ready to really fight for y'all. And even after he left the White House, it's like, okay, he's on Martha's Vineyard, he's got a 50-acre estate, but Flint still ain't got water. When I don't know if y'all know that, and this is not me dissing Barack, this is just me telling you the truth. Go look it up, it's true. When the people in Flint were all caught up in their black messiah, Barack Obama was going to fix our water problem. I don't know if y'all saw this. Michael Moore pointed this out. They went to Barack, and the governor of the state got Barack Obama to come to the state because the people were pissed over the fact that their children were getting sick from this water. Barack Obama comes to the state. They're like, oh, shoot. It's like a fight, right? You getting beat up, and then your cousin shows up, your big cousin. You're like, oh, you gonna get it now. You gonna get it now, right? So Barack Obama gets off Air Force One. Everybody's all proud and excited and clapping and everything. And Barack Obama goes on stage, and the first thing he does is he says, it's been a great trip here. I'm very happy to be here. And then he says, oh, I think I'm a little bit thirsty. You got any of that Flint water that I can drink? And he sits right there and he takes a big gulp from a glass of water that came out of Flint, basically saying that there's nothing to see here. He literally told those people. I was kind of surprised. I didn't even know about it until Michael Moore pointed it out. He basically told those people everything's okay, everything's fine, and everything is not fine in Flint. So sometimes the people that you think are your friends really ain't your friends. I don't know what was going on with that. I'd like to know more about that. But if you go research that, go look it up. He did not really go to bat for those poor people in Flint. It was terrible. So anyway, why do you protest that lie about Kenneth Walker? I don't know who Kenneth Walker is. I'm so sorry. Are you talking about Breonna Taylor's the dude that Breonna Taylor was in the bed with? Yeah, yeah. You know, that part I'm not gonna talk about that anymore because, like I said, I know too much. I'm from Louisville. I know real people that tell me real shit. So I just y'all ain't ready for the truth. So I'm not gonna give it to you. I'm just not gonna talk about it anymore. Who's the GOAT, LeBron or Jordan? It's Jordan. LeBron is great, but LeBron is not a Jordan. What are your thoughts on Jade Simmons running for president? I don't know who Jade Simmons is, but I'm sure Jade is better than these other candidates. Do you think the dollar is going away? Eventually, I think they're going to switch to a digital currency. I think people are afraid to touch money because money has germs. Money is the germiest shit ever. Like, money is incredibly germy. So I could see them getting rid of the dollar at some point. I'm 23 and I haven't gone to college. I have two passions: to be an entrepreneur and build generational wealth and be a musician. In these days, what would you say is more important? I think you can do both. I think that you can. I would pursue both of those passions with extreme amounts of energy. And the key thing here is that if you become a great entrepreneur, you can create an economy around anything you do. Think of money swirling around you like a tornado. You know, they have these machines that can create a tornado in a vacuum. Like, they know how to do something with the wind, so a tornado's like right there inside the little vacuum. Well, being an entrepreneur is the same way. You can learn to create an economy anywhere you go, right? So you can go somewhere, you can spot and identify a need, find a way to supply the product, and then engage in basic stuff like buy low, sell high. You know, like one time I was sitting there with David Banner. I like David Banner a lot. He's one of my favorite rappers, or one of my favorite human beings who happens to be a rapper. And we were at an event in St. Louis. Roosevelt Mitchell III was there too. And I was sitting there talking to him, you know, while they were getting ready for each of us to go up there and speak. And we were talking about business. And I said, a lot of people don't really know that making money, a lot of it comes down to just buy low, sell high. Just sell the shit for more than you bought it for. Right? Find some shit that people need, get a supplier that will give it to you for this price, move the units at that price. That's what they call flipping, and you make the money in the middle. All an entrepreneur is a lot of times is a middleman. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that don't even know how to make a product. I know entrepreneurs that sell a product that they barely understand how to create. They don't have to know how to create. Steve Jobs did not know how to design a computer on a technical level. He just knew how to make it look good enough to get the customer to buy it, and he knew how to go talk to the engineers to get them to build it. Right? So entrepreneurship is the most valuable skill for any free black person to learn because it's more important, it's more valuable than knowing how to cook. Entrepreneurship is to money what cooking is to a person that needs to eat. If you can't cook, then you will starve, or you will have to eat whatever people feed you. If you can't cook, you can't eat at home. You got to go find a restaurant or a grocery store or whatever, right? If you can't cook, life is much harder for you. Your options are limited relative to what you can do if you could cook, right? So think of an entrepreneur as an economic cook. You got to learn how to cook your own food, because if you don't, then white people are going to cook for you, and you know white people be poisoning your damn food. Seriously. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. I don't know. This Wi-Fi went out a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell's up with the Wi-Fi in this house. Let me see here. Why are black people so combative, even in situations that don't warrant aggression? There are some black people that are combative. There's a saying that says hurt people hurt people. And so, you know, a lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are traumatized. When you have traumatized people getting together, they do traumatic things to each other. They re-traumatize each other. And that's what it is. So that's why I say stay away from crazy-ass people. Don't try to build with crazy-ass people. Don't try to build families and build businesses and stuff, because they'll just mess it all up. Are we blacking out for the holiday season? Always. We should do that all the time. What do you think about Black Lives Matter? I think that I agree with the concept that Black Lives Matter, but I think Black Lives Matter as an organization is a white liberal front group that puts blackface on white liberal issues. I don't participate with Black Lives Matter. Also, I think it's an absolute highway robbery. Black Lives Matter owes black people reparations. Like, Black Lives Matter really owes black people reparations because they use your brand to make money, to raise billions of dollars, and ain't none of y'all seeing that money in the hood. Ain't none of y'all seeing that money in your businesses. It's bullshit. How do you feel about love and hip hop? I think it's a great way for young people to learn how to fuck up their lives and have horrible relationships. I would encourage you, if you want to have a healthy relationship, go read a book, and then maybe go, if you're really serious about a relationship, get you a counselor or a therapist, or take a class. I believe people should take classes on relationships because your family is your first business. Your family is a more important business than your actual business is. If you can't manage your family properly, like let's say you're a dude that just got like 8 babies mamas and got kids all over the place, and you know, a bunch of ex-girlfriends and ex-wives, you're going to be broke because you got to pay for all of that. If you're a woman and you constantly laying down with all these dudes and having babies with all these guys and all this other stuff, you're going to be broke because it's very difficult as a single mother to raise a bunch of kids by yourself. So one important investment that you'll make, before you invest in property or invest in businesses or invest in stocks, is investing in your damn family. You know, I mean, I invest in my family. I mean, we talk to a therapist, you know, just to make sure we don't have any problems, because I can't be a great businessman if I spend all my time fighting with my woman or sitting in divorce court. Divorce costs about $10 billion a year. Families lose $10 billion a year in divorce court. So just be smart. Would you read Candace Owens' book, Blackout, about escaping the Democratic plantation? No, Dr. Irene, I wouldn't. Because I like what Candace Owens is saying, but unfortunately she knows, she's like a lot of the Democrats. They all know how to trigger you. They all take advantage of the mental illness that comes from being a descendant of slaves. All of us were infected with it. All of us are traumatized by it. So they constantly trigger us, scare us, and fuck with us to get us to do what they want us to do. And at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is that I don't really care about black people voting Democrat or Republican. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying stop telling black people what to do. Stop trying to trigger them into voting for your guy, right? We all got our favorite white man. You know, my favorite white man is Trump. My favorite white man is Biden. Well, you know, I'm sorry. You're not liberating black people when you get them to vote for your favorite racist. That's stupid. That's backward. You're hustling backward. You ain't even sitting still. You're going backward at that point. I'm not participating in any of that. Do another skip. Okay, I sure will. Stocks or real estate. I like both. Stocks are easier though. And I mean, the last few years, stock market's made a lot more money for me than real estate. I have my friends and myself. We buy stocks for our kids' birthdays. Good for you. Very proud of you. Your children will be very glad you did that. Be consistent. That's the key. Testosterone injected black wealth. There we go. That's right. Testosterone. I was watching a great song everybody should go check out by Killer Mike and Ice Cube, and I'm really honored that to call these guys my friends. Like it makes me giddy because I have so much respect. I love their music. And anyway, they have this great song called "Put the Pressure on Them." And it's a really good song. Look it up. Look it up after we get done. And I love it. It was the first time I actually knew about Killer Mike. I heard that song. Ice Cube I've known about for a long time. Killer Mike, I heard about him on that song. And I said, wow. This is like real. Like, this is real. Like, they were calling out the bullshit civil rights leaders. They were calling out the bullshit politicians. They were calling out the bullshit pastors that are trying to lead us like sheep. Because I don't want to be part of your flock. I'm not a sheep. I'm not trying to be a wolf, but at the very least, I'm going to be a fucking sheepdog. Like, seriously, I'm not no damn sheep. I'm not part of your fucking flock. Fuck you. If you're guiding me down to some dumbass bullshit, then I'm going to walk away from that. But maybe that's because I'm a man. Maybe that's because maybe I'm a man. I like to think I am a masculine man. I'm not trying to be a punk. I grew up knowing that if you ain't ready to fight and defend what you believe in, then you ain't gonna win. You gotta be a fighter. Like, if you want to be successful, this is the last piece of advice I'm gonna give to you guys before I bounce out of here. If you want to succeed, like if you want to really give yourself a chance to win at so many things and almost everything, learn how to really be a fighter. Like, don't say like I want to win or I want to be successful. Or I want good things to happen to me. Don't get into all of that, right? Worrying about the outcomes or being passive. Like, I hope somebody gives me an opportunity. That's very passive, very weak language. That's very fatalistic. Just say, I'm going to fight for what is mine. I'm going to go get what is mine. I'm going to hustle hard. I'm going to push. I'm never going to give up. And what will happen is you'll surprise yourself. If you really commit to just fighting your ass off, you're going to win fights that you never thought you could win. I can just think of times when I was a little kid. You ever get into a time where a bully is fucking with you and you don't really want the bully to fight you because you're just like actually scared of the bully because the bully's talking tough and they're bigger than you. And then one day you just say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to fight you with everything I got. and next thing you know, like you're on top of him, choking his ass, and they pulling you off of him, and you get in trouble because he's the one that's got the black eye and the busted nose, and all after you don't put the desk upside his head or whatever. I had moments like that as a kid, and I look back on that when I think about just how much we lose when we refuse to fight. Like when we disqualify ourselves from the game before the game begins, you don't understand how many blessings were in store for you that you'll never know about because you walked away from the table without even giving it a try. So, when I think about faith, I don't think about like going to church and the Bible and all that. That's a type of faith. For me, faith means, believing in certain principles, certain guiding principles in terms of how you take on every situation. So I live on faith. I live on principles. My principles are, I'm always do my best, no matter what the situation. I'm always do my best. I'm always do my best to be a good person, right? I'm always, be ethical. I believe in karma. What goes around comes around. So I'm not gonna fuck nobody over deliberately, right? I want to just be a good human being, and never giving up. Never giving up. Like I think, and then being smart, just thinking things through. That's another principle. Like I'll just look at something. If I'm not sure, I'll stare at it and think about it for a long time, sometimes for months. I'll just be thinking, because I believe that if I think about it and I just keep observing something, eventually I'll have insights that I didn't have before. I'll go to sleep, I'll dream about it, I'll wake up the next day and be like, oh, I got it. I know what's going on now, right? Well, that's actually how I when I was single, that's how I used to date. If I liked a woman but wasn't sure, I might be her friend and just observe interactions with her for 6 months before I even ask her to go on the first date. Because that next step was so huge in my mind that it's like, I need to know that I'm not stepping into a landmine. So I'm going to sit back and just watch for a while, and then I'm going to make a move. And I think that's basic strategy. And I think strategy is not emphasized enough in our community. I think it's emphasized in sports. Like I think in basketball and football, they teach you strategy. But in life, they don't teach you strategy. The black man's got to know how to be strategic because you're at war all the time. Like they're always trying to hem you up, catch you up in something, steal your wealth, trying to undermine you, trying to screw you over. So as a black man, you really got to get in the habit of really thinking things through. The guys who don't think things through don't usually do very well. But once you've thought it through and you've made a decision, I'm a believer that you must commit. So that means that you might sit back, think about it for a long time, and just and really analyze all the different angles. But once you make that decision and you say, okay, I know this is the right way to go, then you got to commit. Then once you commit, you got to go as absolutely hard as you can, whether it's a relationship, whether it's trying to achieve a goal, or whatever the case, or taking on a legal battle, whatever it is, you got to go like as hard as you can. Like at that point, there's no more room. All the doubt that you have needs to be processed before you make those moves. Then once you make the move, all the doubt needs to go out the window. Now losing is not an option, right? So little things like that make a big difference. And I want to encourage every young person, don't be scared. A lot of older people are just scared. They done been through shit. They don't know. They don't understand maybe they don't know what your potential is, or maybe it didn't work out for them, or maybe they've been traumatized. But a lot of older people tend to be scared. And young people, unfortunately, they tend to take on risks that maybe they shouldn't take on, but that's really how you find yourself. You fall on your face and you learn and you discover things that your parents never discovered because they was too scared to try. Okay? So don't be scared to try. Because no matter what the situation is, as long as you're a good person, you work hard and you do your best and you keep moving forward, most situations can be fixed. Like most things can be washed away eventually and you can correct it. Some things you can't. Like you don't want to go catch an STD that you can't get rid of. Like some of that stuff, or have a baby with some raggedy ass dude or whatever that you can't, he gonna be around you for the rest of your life. But in general, I think most decisions we make when we're young that we're afraid to make, I'm a believer that if your instinct tells you it's the right thing to do, I'm a believer in following your instinct. Your instinct is the most intelligent part of who you are. And that's the subconscious. That's not the conscious mind. That's the subconscious mind that just sees things that maybe you can't see. Okay? So trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Once I learned to trust my instincts, I became much more successful. Because before, my instincts would say this, but then everybody else would say that, and I would do what everybody else did, and then I would find out I was right all along. That's when I started realizing, oh, wait a minute, I think I'm smarter than a lot of people. It took me time because I was trying to be all humble, and I didn't think I was different from anybody. But when you're teaching college students at the age of 22, you're smarter than most people. So eventually, about 30, I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to stop taking advice from people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm the scientist. I'm the smart guy. I don't know everything, but I have insights that other people don't have. And so what that's evolved into is, to this day, you'll see me take a completely different position on something from, it doesn't matter. A million people can say, Boyce, you're crazy. But understand, Boyce has thought it through in 1,000 ways, and he's very confident in what he's saying. And he doesn't care if you think it's stupid or that it's crazy, because I know that my insights and my analytical ability is pretty good. Okay, so all I'll say is, at the end of the day, trust yourself. Trust yourself, and that's how you get the best chance to be yourself. Trust yourself, love yourself, find yourself, and then that'll just, I think that's your pathway to being great. That's my 2 cents. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm sticking with. I gotta go, guys. BlackKeysToGreatness.com. That's my life class. Like I said, the lifetime membership is normally $1,000, but because you guys are watching the Uncle Boyce session, you can literally join for free. This month, I just decided this month I wanted to give it away for free, so you can join for free. Just go to that URL, and there's a ton of stuff in there, a whole curriculum actually on life, because I feel like all of us need a life class where you're learning all the little shit that you don't learn in school, like how do you set goals, how do you manage your time, how do you overcome obstacles, how do you deal with haters, how do you become successful, what's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Like, I documented all of that, and I'm sharing like the philosophies I've used. And so you may not think I'm a successful person, you may think I'm a failure. If you do, then this wouldn't be for you. But if you think I'm a successful person, if you think that I'm a person who's done a couple of things that are noteworthy, and you want to learn a little bit of the game, then I encourage you, I invite you to join. I don't think you're going to regret it at all. You're going to be very happy. And like I said, no strings attached, won't cost you anything. Feel free. BlackKeysToGreatness.com. The URL's right there. All right, guys, I got to go. Have a good day. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV.